Welcome to Shiksharthi, and today's our topic is statistics. One of the most scoring topics in 10th. If you practice this you feel it very easy topic. We can do a lot of good presentation, and for every step you'll score marks here. So one of the easiest topic to score marks is statistics. Okay, so now let us see some of the points which we need to remember while doing statistics. Now this is not a new topic for you. In 9th class you have already done some questions on this. Tally marks, if you remember tally marks, finding mean, median and mode, all that we have practiced in 9th class. Now 9th class subject was a little different to the 10th class subject here. The difference here is in 9th class randomly some numbers used to be given like 20, 30, 52, 71 and 85, and you are asked to find mean, median and mode on these numbers. Now these kind of data is said to be an ungrouped data. Ungrouped data means randomly some numbers are given and you are asked to find mean. For example, how to find mean of these numbers? You all remember mean is nothing but an average. So we need to find an average of these numbers. How do we find average of these numbers? We'll take some like 20 plus 30 plus 52 plus 71 plus 85, divide by 5 numbers, because there are 5 different observations are given. Divide by 5 will give me mean, and mean is represented by x bar. This is a symbol, and just adding all the numbers and then getting the divided by 5. Let us do it. This is something like 56 and 108. Say 156 and 208. 208 plus 50 is 258. So this is 258 upon 5 is what we have, and this number would be 51. 51.6 is something as an answer for this question. So here x bar is 51.6. Now from the previous topic itself, from this question itself, we need to understand what is meant by an average, what is meant by mean. If you look at the given numbers, the minimum of the given numbers is 20 and the maximum of the given numbers is 85, and the value which we got is somewhere standing in the middle. Because these numbers are in ascending order, I can easily say these number 51.6 lies or falls between the minimum and the maximum. So we should always remember average lies between minimum and maximum. So you can make a note here. It's a minimum less than or equal to average and less than or equal to maximum. So this will help you to understand whether your answer is correct or not. Suppose this number is less than minimum, then the answer is wrong. If this is greater than maximum, again the answer is wrong. So it should fall in between the minimum and maximum of the numbers. Okay, all of you? So this is what the mean is all about in 9th class. But now in 10th class, earlier we were dealing with ungrouped data. Please remember this word, it's an ungrouped data. Now the same thing will be presented in this tabular form, which is called as grouped data. So now we are dealing with the same concept, mean, with the data which is presented in a different way, which is called grouped data. Like here 20, 30, 40, 50, 71 are, whatever the numbers are given as some random numbers, whereas here it will be like a group. For example, if you read this question which is taken from your own textbook, example number 3, given the distribution below shows the number of wickets taken by the bowlers in one-day cricket match, find the mean number of wickets by choosing a suitable method. We'll discuss what is a suitable method and all that a bit later. First, let us understand the table and the presentation of the table. Remember, here what did he say, you see? Number of wickets. So that means any bowler who falls between 20 wickets to 60 wickets, who has taken 20 to 60 wickets, will be given as 7. So what is that, you see? Number of bowlers. You please understand the data which is given. See, the beauty of this subject can be explored or can be understood easily if you understand what exactly the data is and what is the data is talking about. And remember, statistics is very important topic for your future also. It's not going to end in 10th class. We have a statistics department in government which takes census, which will tell you how many men are there, how many women are there, how many children are there, how many senior citizens are there, how many employed are there, how many unemployed are there. So statistical department maintains all these data. So any information which is maintained in an organization is called as statistics, and this is very helpful topic to make future decisions. Like we'll see the trend happening, the sales trend, the production trend, all these can be stored as a data, and this data is normally used by the organizations for future analysis, future planning, and the type of things, sales, production, whatever they are doing, for that planning they use this data. So very useful data, my friend, and every field has got data. Like here he is talking about number of bowlers and number of wickets. So here, what is the meaning of this? You please understand. Number of wickets between 20 and 60. Between 20 and 60. So there are 7 bowlers who have taken wickets between 20 and 60. Similarly, 5 bowlers are there who taken up wickets between 60 and 100. Here 16 bowlers who has taken between 100 and 150. Similarly, 12 between 150 and 250, and so on. Now here there are certain things which we need to really understand. One, if you observe the range here, what is the range, my friend? Or the class size. You see the word class size here is something like 40. So that means 20 to 60, difference is 40, 60 to 100, difference is 40, 100 to 150, difference is something like 50, and here he continues to have that difference as 50. But normally what happens, the difference, the class size will be maintained same in everything. And this one, which is given as a range, is always called as class interval. In some of the questions you may find this word, class interval. And this one is called as frequency. Frequency. So in what frequency we have numbers here? 7 is the frequency who have taken wickets between 20 to 60. Now here, like in the previous class, you have maintained a tally marks. You have done a tally marks method, if you remember. You will take 5 vertical lines and 1 cross to take a bundle as 5. So in a similar method, the counting is done, and here we got these numbers here. And in the questions, mostly he will try to give you what is the total number here. For example, this is 12, 24, 40, 45. So here the total of the frequency is 45. So what is this talking about, friends? Bowlers. So total 45 bowlers performance is kept over here. So that is what we need to understand. So number of people, the bowlers are 45, sum of the frequency value. This symbol called as summation actually, it is called as summation, or it is also called as capital sigma. It is called as capital sigma is what we call it as. Generally it is called as summation, a Greek letter which is used mostly in statistics for adding up the numbers, the result of after adding up the numbers. So it is simply called as summation or capital sigma here. So next, the class size here is represented by H in this case, generally H in this case. Okay, all of you? So these are the important informations which we need to understand. Now the question is asking us to find mean. He may ask you to find median. He may ask you to find mode. Like in the previous class, you had already practiced it. So mean, median and mode are the 3 calculations which are asked to find, which are called as central tendency. Central tendency is the word used. So these are the 3 different methods in statistics. So finding an average of these numbers. So that means average number of wickets taken by 45 players or bowlers is what you are trying to find out. I repeat once again, this question is asking us to find the mean. That means it is asking us to find the mean average number of wickets taken by 45 bowlers. So we have a minimum value, we have a maximum value here, number of bowlers, minimum value and maximum value, and all that is kept. Here minimum number of wickets assumed to be 20 and the maximum number of wickets assumed to be 450. Now generally students ask me one common doubt here. Sir, here also we have 60 and here also we have 60. And imagine there is a player who has taken 60 wickets. So where does he falls? Will he fall in the first or the second? This is very important question and very good question also. It is like this. If a player has taken 60 wickets, then he will be falling here, the lower limit of the class interval. So please understand, here I came up with a new word. This is called lower limit, LL, and this is called higher limit of the class interval. Lower limit, lower class interval, higher class interval can be called as this. Okay. So in every case, this is lower class interval, this is higher class interval, this is lower class interval, this is called higher class interval. So in that way, the things have to be. So I just want you to understand the technical terminology here, which is very important while presenting. And this is, believe me, very easy topic to score total marks of statistics. So suppose if it is allocated for 15 marks, you can score 15 out of 15 without any doubt. And you'll be happy by the presentation also. It is very simple to present, and we'll use mostly a tabular forms to present this data here. Okay. So now move on to examples from the exercise. Now let us see the formulas here which are useful for finding mean. For finding mean in grouped data, this is ungrouped data, please understand. This can be given in a fill in the blank or any short answer question for you. This type of question can be given and asked to find the mean of the data. Okay, so this is the method for that. Now, if the table is given in this manner, then there are three methods to find mean. We'll discuss one by one over here. So let us see, friends. What is the method? First method is called as direct method. Direct method, and for this, this is called direct method. Direct method, and the formula here. See, please remember, x bar represents mean, and the formula here is summation of fi into xi upon summation of fi. Now, what is xi here? Xi is mean midpoint. Xi is said to be midpoint and Fi is said to be frequency. Now you must be wondering what is this symbol and how do you use. For example, if I take sum of Fi, add all the numbers here 7, 5, 12, this is 28, 40 and 45. So what I write, summation of all the frequency values is equals to 45, I'll write here in this table. Now what is this I represents? I represents I is equal to 1, 7, I is equal to 2, 5, I is equal to 3, 16, I is equal to 4. So that means I will take natural numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So summation of all the 6 values is 45. Now what is the mid value here? We'll take the mid value as like this. Mid value is xi is, how do we find out? Lower limit plus upper limit upon 2 is the mid value. For example, in this case, 20 plus 60, 80, 80 upon 2 is 40. So the mid value of this particular class interval is 40. Similarly, 60 plus 100, 160 upon 2 is 80. In that way, we'll find mid values for every block and then we'll use it. That is the first method for you. Okay. Second method is called assumed mean method. Assumed mean method. So what is assumed mean method here? We'll take an assumed value as A from the midpoints, and then the formula is A plus summation Fi di upon summation Fi. So we'll take di here. So what is di, my friend? Di is xi minus a, which is assumed mean. You can say the same small a which I am talking about. So you can also use here a capital A instead of small a for this. Okay. So this is what is called as the formula. So what is di here? Di is nothing but a deviation. Now what is the purpose of use here? I mean, how do we differentiate between the first method and the second method? If you find midpoint values and frequency values are very small, I mean small for calculation, then we'll go by direct method. I repeat myself, you can see the frequency values are very small numbers here. and the mid value values are also, suppose if there is small values, then the product of fi and xi, corresponding values of fi and xi is simple, so we can go by direct method. If suppose these values are big, then I can go for assumed min method, and to make it further simple, we'll go by step deviation method. Step deviation method. What is step deviation method? The small change in the previous formula, a plus summation xi fi ui upon summation of fi into h. What is h? Class size, if you remember. So these are the formulas which you need to remember while doing mean. Now normally in the question he'll say use an appropriate method to find mean. So it is up to you to select which method you wanted to do. I'll be showing you all three methods. For that you can get a clarity and to reduce the calculations. Remember, your calculators are not allowed, so you need to decide to make the calculation easy which method you need to follow. So I recommend normally here any of the method can be ideal method, but to reduce the calculation is up to your decision to take.